So YouTube, it's been a while. I've been away. I know I'm not gonna. I'm gonna say it's because I've been working, but also it's become a little lazy, to be honest. But it's been a while, so I have something I really want to talk about today. Today, what I want to talk about is college football. If anyone knows me, then you probably know that's the sport that I care about the most. I feel like I have the most knowledge, and people probably will be wondering, like, oh, if you know so much about this sport, why don't you post more about it? But like I said, it's a little bit tired, it's a little bit lazy, but here we are with it today. So today's video, last week, I caught the first ranking in the college football playoff came out. So I know I'm a little behind because it's a week later and stuff has changed, but I want to talk about that week, a little bit of this stuff. So one thing, the rankings were Ohio State, which I agreed with, at number one. They've continuously shown that they're the most dominant team, even against the weak competition. They're still dominating against them. You had LSU, Alabama, and Penn State. Obviously, Penn State and Alabama lost. LSU, I believe, took over the number one spot, which after the way they beat Alabama, I agree with as well. What I really want to talk about, Clemson's at number 5, but with the ACC, they should get up into the top 4 and number 1. What I want to talk about is the Pac-12. West Coast guy, so I'm a UCLA fan, so I'm a Pac-12 guy. So what I want to talk about with the Pac-12 is that people seem to think that there's no shot for them to get in, or that they have to really impress. Like if Utah and Oregon get into the Pac-12 championship game, that one of them really has to blow out the other one to make it into the playoff, which I completely disagree with, because let's look at it this way. Okay, Oregon and Utah are 7 and 8 respectively. Okay, 2 teams just lost, so I believe that they should go ahead of those 2 teams. So let's say they each go up 1-2 spots, so that'll put them like at 5 and 6, we say. Georgia is ahead of them, but Georgia already has 1 loss. The only way Georgia makes it into the playoff is if they win the SEC championship game, which then in that case I believe should knock out LSU out of the playoff race. Because I don't think that, I'm someone that thinks that if you don't win your conference, then you shouldn't be in the playoff. So that would knock it out. So I don't think there's going to be 2 SEC teams in the playoff. Ohio State, I think, gets in the playoff if they went out. But if they lose, maybe they lose in the championship, in the Big Ten championship, and there's that. But let's say it's Ohio State, SEC winner, and Clemson. That leaves 1 spot. And I believe with Georgia losing, that should get Oregon or Utah, either one who wins and has 1 loss, into that playoff. Now, if both teams slip up along the way before they get to the Pac-12 championship, like I'm a UCLA fan, so I want Utah to lose this weekend against UCLA. But if either one slips up, then obviously that knocks them out. Especially if they come back and beat the other team who had 1 loss and they both had 2 losses. But that's what I think. I don't really think that either team really needs to impress by blowing out the other team. I think that's kind of, I do believe there's like some SEC East Coast bias, because also at the end of the day, let's be honest, the SEC is very top heavy. People have a disrespect against the Pac-12 or West Coast football, because I feel that all the teams it's all like even, like the number 1 team in the Pac-12 can lose to the number 12 team or the number 10 team in the Pac-12 on any given weekend. Whereas, you don't expect Alabama to lose to Vanderbilt. You don't expect Alabama or LSU to lose Kentucky. But they can happen. But that doesn't really happen. It's less likely that a SEC bottom team is going to beat an SEC top team than a Pac-12 bottom team is going to beat an SEC of a Pac-12 top team. I believe that if you put the middle of the pack and the bottom of the pack, the middle of the teams and the bottom teams in the SEC and the Pac-12, I think the Pac-12 wins the majority of those games. I think the SEC probably wins the top heavy ones. But I think the middle and the bottom teams, the Pac-12 probably wins more of those games. Because I think overall, the Pac-12, overall of all the teams, is better than the SEC that is top heavy. Now, I know a lot of people don't agree with that. But I mean, you have to look at it, and I know I'm saying this as someone who just admitted being a little biased, but you gotta kind of look at it as a whole. You don't really think like at the bottom teams when you think about the SEC. You kind of think about any Pac-12 team beating any Pac-12 team any given week. But that's another topic. That's something else I'll touch on at some point, because obviously I don't want to analyze it more and really get into that. But I think, but this video was supposed to be about the first week of the college football playoff. What I thought about the top four, who I think will be in the playoff. Who I think will win the playoff is probably Ohio State, Clemson, LSU, and Oregon. You know, Oklahoma needs some help. They could get in there, but they do need a little more help. I don't think there'll be two SEC teams. The only way Georgia gets in is if they beat LSU in the SEC championship game. The only way Clemson is out is if they lose, and I don't see that happening. Ohio State, I really don't see anyone beating them. Michigan might be able to beat them. Respect needs to be given to Minnesota. I think if Minnesota doesn't slip up and they meet Minnesota in the Big Ten championship game, I think Minnesota has a good chance to make it a game. But from what I've seen so far, they're blowing out their team. So you can't say that someone can beat them when no one's coming in within 30 points of beating them. But so that's my take on it right now. I'm not gonna lie, I felt like there's a few more things I wanted to touch on, but I can't really remember them. I'll probably remember them later on and talk about it in another video. Thank you guys for your patience. The videos now with this one will start coming along a lot more often now. Not just my videos on sports, but maybe some vlogs, some more of the eating videos that people seem to like so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys found it informative. Like I said, these videos are always my opinion on everything. If you have a different opinion, then leave me a comment, and then I'll touch on it. I'll read it and I'll touch on it next time, But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.